What is going on? It is. What night is it, Dan? Is it Wednesday, Thursday? I don't even know anymore. It's Thursday night, right?
It's Thursday night, yes.
It is Thursday night. It is
Yes.
6 p.m. It's the NFL East NFL Weekly Pick'em Show. My name is Paul Spencer. Of course, their right hand man there, Dan Connor. Dan, how you feeling this week, man?
Not
Okay.
good in Giant Land. Not good in
Mm.
Giant Land. That's all I'm going to say. Not good.
I didn't mention that game, single-handedly, but I know how you're feeling here. I felt that way last week, of course. But Dan, here we talk about all the teams here. We do the NFL, weekly pick'em here. Going into last week, Dan, I had a small lead on you, 32-36 here. I had a 4-point advantage.
Yep.
But Dan, what game? I mean, here's our picks from last week. We did okay. I mean, I think there was like a one game, differential between both of us this week. But
Yep.
what game surprised you? To me, that Bengals game, Dan. What the hell is going on here in Bengal Land with Joe Burrows?
I don't know. Burrow got his ass kicked again the whole game, pretty much. Like, their offensive line is really struggling. They're not giving them any time. Their offense, they just look bad. And now they're what, 1-3 now?
Yeah, they're struggling. They're struggling.
They are struggling big time. I really thought they would win the game. I guess another game that surprised me was Miami. I thought they would do much better, and then they just imploded. Like Miami just totally collapsed at a certain point.
Yeah, that was one of the games we disagreed on. I thought the Bills would come out this week because Dan, when you put up 70 damn points on a team, there's got to be a little like a value where are you going to do that again, or are you going to come out flat?
They're not going to do that again. No. I thought the game would be closer, and I thought once they turned the ball over a couple of times, the Bills got rolling. The Bills never looked back, and they could never recover from that momentum.
Exactly. Eileen says it's Thursday night, and my two favorite people are on. Eileen, appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, when Diggs went off, and Diggs made this a statement game too, Dan. Every time he scored, he looked for somebody to talk to. You know what I mean? He really did.
Like their offense looked like really good. The Bills looked like they played angry and motivated and inspired football.
Mm-hmm.
And at a certain point, I thought the Bills were really going to put it on, but the tides turned, and the Bills just never looked back and just pounded them the rest of the game.
I agree. I thought the Bills could have dropped at least 50 burger on them easily the way they were playing. But to me, I think a lot of it was the talk. The Dolphins are here. They're the AFC
East
representative now.
The Bills are done.
It's the Bills still. You still got to go through the Bills. I mean, I know the Dolphins can score, but hey, you know what? You got to knock off some people that you can't beat first, and that's the Bills. But yeah, I mean. That was one of the games we lost. The Bengals game, of course, Dave. Dan, we split on the Giants-Bills game, of course. The other game that we lost, Dan, we both took the Saints and the Buccaneers, man. I mean, damn,
I thought, Jamie, but you never know with these NFC South games. I didn't know who to pick in that game.
That was one of the games we did a toss-up.
I didn't know who to pick, the Bucs or the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucs have more talent than the Saints do, but I just never know with the AFC South now. Like, those games are unpredictable.
Yeah. I mean, I took the Saints because Alvin Kamara's coming back this week. I mean, that he's a a go-to player. Dan, he didn't even show up, man. He didn't even look like he played at all. In the last 50 years. It was bad.
Yeah, he's definitely not ready. He's definitely not up to speed yet. But once he does, I think their offense will be better.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought they would win the game, but still, the Bucs still have some talent. Mm-hmm. If Baker Mayfield plays solid, they'll win football games. And
the thing is, all he has to do is manage the game, Dan. That's all he has to do out there is manage the game.
He doesn't have to do a ton.
The other game that we split on, you took the Colts, I took the Rams. That was another toss-up game to me because I don't believe in the Rams here. No Cooper Kupp. Paku is doing pretty good out there. And the other game, Dan, is we both lost two other games here. The Bears got beat by the Broncos.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Bears are just a bad football team. It just shows they're not a good football team, I think.
But we got to say, too, so is the Broncos. That was a toss-up game. I
don't care. Teams, both of them.
And, Dan, the other game that I really want to say something, well, we'll talk about the last game we split on, too. But we don't want to talk about that, but we will. The Steelers. What the hell's going on with Steelerland here against the Texans? Rookie QB.
I don't know. The Steelers got their ass. They got steamrolled. Exactly. I didn't think the Texans would do that, but the Texans, they really put it on them. This last week. I mean, I was like, I got that one wrong.
Yeah, I can't believe it. There's certain teams that I don't know about where you think like, okay, the Steelers are legit, in franchise history. they can play well, but
no, they might have their first losing season.
That's you know what? That's I mean, I live near Pittsburgh, an hour away, and that's what everybody's saying. Fire Canada, get rid of him. Tomlin's overrated. Get rid of him. He's nothing. This start over.
And now the Texans play the Bengals. I think the Texans we'll talk about are going to beat the Bengals.
I did see that. I did see that one. Yeah. And the other two we split. The other two we split on, Dan, is I lost. I took the Browns there. You took the Ravens. I should have took the Ravens on that one.
Yep.
Good game, but I don't believe in Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of him. I don't think I ever will be on the field.
Yeah, I think the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson's not a great quarterback by any means, but he's done more than than Watson has, and I just don't trust. The Browns. I mean, you just never know with them.
Me either. I mean, I know Kareem Hunt played last week barely, new running back system, but still, you got weapons out there, and you got a quarterback that can run the ball too. So you got to use your legs somehow. But I give credit to you. You there. You took the Ravens with Lamar. The other one, Dan, we did disagree on a game that really shouldn't have been played. That Seahawks Giants game, Dan. I told you the Seahawks were going to win. I felt it.
You didn't think that it was going to look like that, though.
No, I didn't think it was. I said it was going to be like a 4-point game swing, but I did not say it was going to be the way it was.
And I've been saying, that push play. I hate that push play. Because John Michael Schmitz got hurt on that play.
Yeah, he did.
And another guy got hurt, and Bellinger and someone else got hurt on that play.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I don't like that play. And and now Thomas would probably, but not having Thomas, not having Barkley, when it was 14-3, when they were maybe going in for a touchdown, I thought I'd make it 14-10.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it was just a game of mistakes after mistakes, turnovers. 2 turnovers cost them 14 points.
It's kind of bad when your leading rusher is your quarterback, Dan. You know what I mean?
I mean, he got sacked 11 times.
Yeah, I lost count, Dan. I lost count around
but still, you still left some plays on the field. Still. Still could have done some things different that may not cause a turnover here or there.
Sure.
Like the pick six, like the pick six is just killer. It's very Eli like,
the funny thing is, I turned over to ESPN2 and I was watching the Manning telecast, and it was so funny watching Eli's face. Is like,
man.
Peyton said to him, he was like, Eli, that's how you looked after you threw a pick. And he's like, no, it wasn't even that bad. Mine was.
He played the Vikings one primetime game, threw 4 picks, and 3 were pick sixes in one game.
That's pretty
bad. But Jones, like I'm saying that, I thought the Giants could win this game, but no, but I don't think they're going to win another game until they get Thomas or Barkley back.
Well, how about on that note, how about we skip this week here and go to next week? How about we look at our standings so far, Dan? Just a little bit high there. But week 4 standings, it is 42-47 now. I gained 1 game here on Dan this week. So
the better last 3 weeks.
Hey, here it is, Dan. This is what we have. Yeah, this is what we have here. Week 1, you shit the bed on week 1. You went 8 out. I got a 3-point lead.
Horrible week 1.
That was a bad week. I mean, projected week 1. It is what it is. But Dan, here it is. I mean, we're in week 5 this week, so let's talk about week 5 here, Dan. I mean, how do you feel this week? Are you going to catch up that lead or no? You're going to make up that difference or no?
Maybe.
Okay, because I told you, closer to the end of the season, Dan, if I got a lead, I'm just going to piggyback on what you are, and you're not catching me. So you better catch up now between week 5 to 13, because I might just go with your picks too, just to carry my lead on.
Yeah, I actually picked. Maybe if I need the Bengals to lose. Need the Saints to lose.
Exactly. All right, well, let's go down the week. We got a game tonight, Dan. Now, we do have a game tonight. We do have a game tonight, Thursday Night Football. Right after the show, we'll be talking a little bit more about it. I know your representative. We have an NFC East War Room show. Stacy from your Big Blue Power Hour hop on. Steve Lawford from the Commander's Gridiron is hopping on. Myself from the 215 Boys. We got Joe Sullivan from the Solely Squad Eagles show. All hopping on here right after the show at 7 p.m. 4 teams, 4 hosts, 1 room, NFC East talk. What could go wrong when you have the 4 representatives from our show? But, Dan, the Commanders play tonight. I mean, the Bears, I'm hearing rumors that if they lose this, Nagy's gone. Hell, who knows gone? They benched Claypool, told him not to come play last week.
Yep.
So we're still not going to take the Bears here? We're going to take the Commanders?
I'm taking the Commanders.
What's the reason behind that one?
Washington's a better football team overall. They have a better defense, better front. Mm-hmm. I think their offense, if Howell plays well, is pretty solid. And I just don't think the Bears are going to have enough to to beat them. I think the Commanders, they lost last week. They played Philadelphia. It
Yeah,
was close. It wasn't. I didn't think they played
Woo.
bad.
No.
So I think they gained a little bit of confidence, and I think they're a much better team than the Bears are.
I
I
agree
just
with you.
don't see the Bears beating them because they have to have a consistent offense and play well on defense. I just don't see that happening versus Washington.
I agree 100%. I think Washington played. I mean, Hal showed up last week. He showed what he is. He can be a glimpse of what he can be for the future. They played the Eagles tight. They played the Eagles tight. I mean, taking them to overtime the way they played. I got to go with the Commanders this week as well. Dave checks in. Hey, fellas, who are you picking this weekend? You see the picks, Dave? You already know. I mean, it's a little surprising some of the teams we picked here. A couple upset alerts. Maybe Dan's on my, his side. I'm on my side. But we agree. Commanders number one. Let's go to a team that has put an ass kicking on the Dolphins here. The Bills versus the Jaguars, who played in London last week in Andy's room. Dan, what did you think about that? Andy's room.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. It's definitely a new take on it. I thought it was something interesting. I can't say I watched a lot of it, but I did check it out. I thought it was interesting. It's not the way I would like to watch a game. You would rather have them in Minecraft.
Oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool.
That's what you would have.
Oh yeah, a block falling on his head, dropping him, causing a fumble. I would love that.
Exactly. Yep.
But Dan, I mean, do you think an advantage goes to the Jaguars here because they stayed in London this week, back-to-back games in London? They stayed. The Bills have to go.
Maybe have the Bills played in London? I don't even know if they played in London before.
I don't think they have, honestly. I think this is the first time they've ever been there. But
the Bills,
too many weapons.
I think the Bills are. I mean, the Jags can win, but I think the Bills have played really well last week. I think they're going to ride that momentum into this game. I think they're going to beat the Jags.
I agree.
I think it'll be close, but I think they'll beat them.
I agree. I want to take the Bills here. Coming off last week, I think it's like a statement point where they can turn it around. Especially being an AFC East, rival, the Dolphins, who look unbeatable with the way they're playing right now. I had to go with the Bills here as well. I don't think that that late flight will get over there and beat them. Ken Fry says, "What's going on, gentlemen? You can check out Ken Fry tomorrow night, Atomic Drop Podcast. I know they're talking WWE, Payback, SmackDown, and also giving the Fastlane predictions. So make sure you check that out as well. Mets, and I don't even know if he's going to do the Mets show anymore the way the season ended, Dan. But the Mets, the Bat Cave every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. And of course, you have the Silver and Black Layer every Saturday night. Check the times on that one as well. Talking Raiders and the LA Kings. At least they have one team out there, LA Kings, right in Ken's area, So you can check him out definitely. All right, a couple of our comments. My other face talking about Ken Fry there. And she says, why not the Bears? Well, the Bears are what they are. Your record reflects what they are. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. They suck. They
don't just suck. They're just bad on both sides of the ball.
Bad. Now, Dan, here's a weird game. We did pick the same here so far. When was the last time we could say the Texans? We take the Texans. When does this really ever happen, Dan?
The Texans looked pretty solid last week.
They do.
They passed the eye test for me at the moment. They look better. Mm-hmm. By eye than the Falcons do. I think they're a better team than the Falcons. I think their quarterback is playing well. I think he's playing well for a rookie. I think last week I thought they played well. It seemed like they were clicking on all cylinders, and I just think they're playing better football at the moment than the Falcons are. So that's why I picked them.
And I think they're playing really great on defense too. Will Anderson has that linebacking core playing. I mean, he's legit.
Yeah, DeMeco Ryans is their coach, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So DeMeco Ryans seems to have done a solid job. They seem like they're getting things together and heading in the right direction. Mm-hmm. The Falcons, I don't know what they are at the moment.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, their best weapon, Kyle Pitts, they don't even use him. They don't even care anymore. It's just like, I feel sorry for Bijan Robinson going to that team, and it's like, you're really not even using him in the right place too. Get him off the ball, get him off tackle. They don't even use him in that. We know he's a wide receiver coming out of the backfield. He's good. They don't even use him. So I'm definitely going. Man, I can't believe I'm saying I'm going Texans, Dan. Can't believe that.
Yeah, I think the Texans looked good last week, and the Falcons, like I said, I don't know what they are.
Mm-hmm. Eileen says I would take the Bears because both teams suck, and I don't think a big enough win is a blowout. I'm not taking the Bears. I think they're a lottery team. I think they're playing for the lottery.
Yeah, not unless they show me like 3 or 4 weeks in a row they play well, then I'd take the Bears.
Exactly. Ken says so far he has the Bills, and he's taking the Falcons over this week, Dan. So he's not going to agree with us there. He's also taken, we'll get to it, Miami, Pats, Ravens, Eagles, which I call them the Eagles too, Cincy, Jets, and of course the Raiders, And he says, hello, Eileen. So there we go. All right, Dan, let's move on here with the Carolina Panthers here. Bryce Young looked okay last week, but he's still learning the system here. But the Lions have weapons, Dan.
The Lions offense looks great, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop. Carolina's going to be able to stop them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Carolina will score some points because is Young playing this week?
Yeah, I think Young is playing. He's took all the reps this week, so Bryce Young is playing this week. Yeah.
And the Lions offensive, the run game looks really good, which makes their passing game a lot more dangerous. The Lions. So I think the Lions, they're just a better football team. They're playing much better, and their offense looks pretty tough to stop.
I agree.
I don't think Carolina's going to have enough to slow them down.
Yeah, Carolina does have a good D, but when you got to pick your poison, who you want to guard here. Your weapons in the backfield. I love the rookie that they picked up, Jahmyr Gibbs. He's an incredible running back as well. Montgomery too. I think they're solid, even with the wide receivers.
Their offensive line is really good.
Yep, very good. Hawkinson's a tight end position. I think they have the weapons. I think this is I don't want to say a blowout, but I'm going to say probably about a 10-point game here, Dan.
Yeah, probably. I would say so.
Okay, let's move on. Here's our first split, Dan. Tennessee versus the Colts here. I'm going out of the box, which we're on here, and I'm taking the Colts this week. I think Richardson's playing, so I think he comes out. I'm hoping that Richardson and the Colts get a lead because we know Richardson's going to get a concussion again somehow and get out of the game. So that's my only downfall if he can play a full game the way he plays.
Yeah, this game I didn't know who to pick at first. I picked Tennessee, which I thought they didn't play bad last week.
Right.
So I think Tennessee. I think they'll win in a close game, but I think they'll beat them. I think the Colts will play well, but I see Tennessee winning this game.
Well, I hope not. Like I said, I hope Richardson actually plays a full game because I'd like to see him do well because he
would
can run
be
the
nice,
ball.
But it would be nice. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
That's the thing. That's my little coin toss if he's going to play the whole game. If not, then I hope you have a 14-point lead because it's just a totally different game without Richardson in the game with the Colts, Dan. It really is.
It is. If he can't play,
exactly.
Like that's going to be a possibility.
Yep.
He might not be 100% if he plays.
Yeah, very true, very true. 3 games, 3 injuries, and not the same injury every time, and a concussion on top of that, it's not good. Ken says I just keep waiting for the Lions to do Lions type things. It's like it's weird seeing them do good. Dan, they have two of the worst records in NFL history, Dan. History. Yeah. You know what I mean? You think about that. Like, this is one of the teams that we can talk maybe a wild card or even winning the division, Dan. The Lions. Yeah. The Lions. Yep. This is the same coach who said we're going to bite you at the kneecaps. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Ken's exactly right about that. It's so weird to talk about that. But, Dan, okay, let's get into this game here, Dan. The next game on the docket, Dan, you just made that face like, oh, shit.
Yeah, they didn't stop Miami. I picked the Dolphins because the Giants look like total disarray. Their defense doesn't look the worst, but their offense is so bad they're not going to be able to keep up. And it looks like Andrew Thomas is going to be out again.
Is he out? He's already out?
Wow. I think they said he might not play again this week. Barkley, I don't know.
I heard Barkley was going to at least 2 weeks on the shelf is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, he's been out 2 games so far.
Okay, so it's questionable this week.
Okay. So has Thomas. Ooh. So they have like no offensive line. I know Miami doesn't really have the best good defense necessarily. Mm-hmm. Well, the Giants' offense looks so out of whack, so lost. I don't see them win this game. I don't see it happening unless they're gonna have to prove that they can win a game and run offense.
Because I was gonna say this week. I know you're down 5 points. I was gonna say if you call this game correctly and you take the Giants, I might triple your points.
Yeah.
Still no bet.
No, I don't think the Giants are going to win this game.
I agree. I'm looking at the point spread here, Dan. The point spread is -7.5, Miami. The over, Dan, is 66. Is this going to be an over game? I think it will be.
Yeah. Yep.
How many does the Dolphins put up this week?
Like 38.
38, okay.
I think
it's going to be 30, high 30.
I think the defense won't be horrible.
Okay.
I thought their defense didn't play horrible last week. They gave up a short field touchdown, a pick 6 touchdown. That's not on the defense, and the rest were field goals.
True.
So,
yeah.
So I don't see them winning though. I see them losing by 10 or more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's probably going to be like a 38-16 game, maybe. I think it's going to be like almost a 20-point lead here. I think they're
The
going to
best
coast this
offense
game.
they're going to face probably all year. They're better than the 49ers offense.
Yeah,
I think
they are too on offense.
So far, they're more explosive than any offense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the Giants are, the way their offense doesn't sustain drives, I could see them going 3-and-out, giving up a touchdown, going 3-and-out, giving up a touchdown, being down 14-0.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, like when they scored 70, they were without Waddle, and they played with Waddle, and they couldn't score against the Bills. So it's a little iffy. I love their coach. I love him. I think he's one of the.
And Miami's got to be playing motivated. They're going to be playing angry.
Exactly.
And the Giants' defense is eventually going to get tired. That's how they're going to give up a lot of points.
Mm-hmm. Dan, Dick Butkus, rest in peace.
Wow.
I did not know that. Did you know that?
That must have just happened.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I'm saying, I've been doing the overlays and stuff.
Just happened like in the past hour.
Hey, rest in peace to a legend, man. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. Rest in peace to Dick Butkus, like absolute legend.
Does this make the Bears put a little bit more motivation, Dan? Maybe we can flip that pick against Washington.
Yeah, well, the game's not at home, but right. But yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I'd say so.
Hey, he's a legend, man.
A patch on their jersey or their helmet or something like that.
I tell you what, Washington Commanders fans out there, I know Steve will be hopping on the NFC East War Room. I'm going to tell you one thing. As a fan, number one at the game exclusively, they better do a tribute, and you better get that right away for Dick Butkus, no matter where he played.
I would.
He's a true freaking legend, man. I would love to see that.
NFL legend, absolute legend. So I would definitely do something.
Yep. Eileen says, I think it was interesting to see how the Dolphins bounced back from 70, such a high, and then low, coming off a 70-point score and fell apart in the game. I agree. That's what I mean. I don't understand. You score 70 without one of your best wide receivers in Waddle. Scoring 70 without him. A-Chain, Mostert, almost 3 and 4 touchdowns right there, 7 combined. And then next week you have your weapons back, and it's a different look of the team.
They had some horrible turnovers in the game.
Big time.
They were killer. Mm-hmm. Absolute killer. And they probably gave up like 3 touchdowns off of 3 of those turnovers.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's move on here. Now, this is another split here. Saints killed us last week, Dan. So I am going to take the Saints this week. I think it's a bounce-back game. Kamara's second game with the team. You're going Patriots. Why are we taking the Patriots? And I'll tell you why I take the Saints.
Because they have a good defense. It's at home.
Okay.
I think the Patriots just have a really good defense, and they're tough at home.
Now, Judon's out for the season, right?
I did not know that, but I still think they're a good defensive team, especially at home.
Okay.
And I think they'll win a close game.
Okay. I still don't believe in Mac Jones. Judon, is there?
I don't believe in Mac Jones either, but I think they'll have enough to beat the Saints.
Okay, I'm going to take the Saints here. I think I like their defense, of course, and I think we can get the ball downfield with Derek Carr. Last week he shit the bed, didn't throw anything downfield. I think this week we go downfield.
You could shit the bed again, especially versus Belichick.
Yeah, you're right, exactly. I mean, take away your best player, but I think Kamara makes a bounce back this week. Going back to the Sean Payton offense, or get him in the game. Get Michael Thomas.
Well, he definitely needs to have when he has a good game. Typically, they win.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm hoping. He plays well.
That's what I'm hoping. Eileen says his car back. Now, I did hear he was playing this week. I did hear that if Jameis Winston is ready, taking the snaps already in the first team, but they are saying Carr is playing. But even with Jameis Winston, I like how he throws the ball downfield, Dan. I love how he goes downfield with this ball.
Yeah, he was playing well before he got hurt last year. So
he takes chances. He gets the ball downfield.
Yep.
Can't knock that. Dan, let's go here. I mean, I think it's consensus. The Pittsburgh sucks team. The Steelers suck.
Ravens are playing pretty bad. The Ravens are playing well too.
But Dan, they play good at home though. Pittsburgh plays good at home. That defense shows up though. That's my
They do play well at home, but I think the Ravens will win a close game. I think it'll be like a 3-point game.
That's what I'm thinking. I think it's going to be one of those
extremely close, and typically they are. Mm-hmm. But I think the Ravens are just a little bit better than the Steelers are.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think this game is going to be a little bit closer than people think, regardless of records here. Pittsburgh's sucking, Ravens are winning. I think this is a close game. I think this is one of those AFC North games where it's going to be a very, very close game, Dan.
I think it'll be close. I think it'll be one of those close AFC North games.
Alex Bauer checks in. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Alex is one of my lifetime high school friends back in California. Went to school together. Alex, how you doing, brother? Appreciate you checking in, man. And
what's up, Alex?
I don't want to say what Alex's favorite team is. I'll let him respond to that. We might not be friends after this week, but I'll just leave it at that. Alex, I'll let you go ahead and say what team you're a fan of. But yeah, it is what it is. Some people didn't learn the right things in high school, Dan. You know what I mean? Will Pickett be 100%? Now that's the question, Dan. This dude, man, he took some beatings last week, Dan. Beatings though.
I don't think he's going to be 100%. He'll probably play, but he won't be 100%.
Okay, well, it's Trubisky time. I mean, hey, why not bring in Mitch, right? You gave away a lot of stuff to get him, so why not, right? Why not, right?
Yeah, right.
See, Alex has to chime in. He's like, "What about the Niners game? I'm taking the Niners, bro, and you know it." I know, Alex. I know you are.
Niners.
He
did.
Alex, here's the deal. I'll make you a deal. I know this isn't the show, but I do the 215 boys. Shut up, Dan. Shut up, okay? I do the show, them 215 boys, every Wednesday night, 9:30. Next week, let me know if you're willing. You can come on my show and we can talk about your Niners getting their ass beat. Very simple, okay? All right. And if they win, I'll let you come on and gloat, brother. Appreciate you checking in, Alex. Really do. All right, Dan. Let's move on here. A team that we both agree on, we do not like, the Eagles. Okay, against the Rams. Dave,
is this beat the Rams?
Now, Dave was talking about my 215 Boy show. He said, this may be a game that the Rams could win. I see it that way too, Dan. This could be a little
can win. I think they can win.
Now, Dan, Cooper Kupp's coming back.
I want to have a good game, but he's not going to be full like
preseason
like
mode.
How he usually is. It's his first game back.
True, he'll be in preseason mode.
I think the Eagles will win. I think the Eagles are better. I think they'll win the game. I think it'll be close, but I think the Eagles are playing well. The run game is really running on all cylinders.
Yeah, it's
the Eagles are going to put in a complete game at some point. So this could be a game where they do that, even though it's the Rams.
Yeah, I as much as I hate to say this, I've watched DeAndre Swift many a times in high school when I lived down there with prep, and it pains me to say that this team hasn't put a game together yet, Dan, and they're winning.
Not a complete game. It's always one area they struggle. They've just made enough plays to win games, and they're doing what they have to do, but they're not playing on their how they're capable of yet.
Agree.
And sooner or later they're going to. I think this could be one of those weeks where they do.
When they put it together, they're going to show the league, put them on notice of what we were and what we're supposed to be. And
they're tough when you put it together. They're tough.
They are. Mm-hmm. Alex says, "Haha, you made my day, bro. No way it happens." Hey, every blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. I mean, you knocked us out the last 2 years, from the promised land, but the third year is our year. I know as Cowboy fans, we say that every year, Dan, for the past 27 years. But this year is our year, okay? Especially this week. A lot of payback here going on. But, Dan, let's move on. Okay, Dan, I see you took the Cardinals here, which I want to know why. And I took the Bengals, and I want to know why I took them myself. I don't know.
Because the Cardinals, even though they're not the best team, they just look like they're a more competent football team right now. Even though the Bengals have better weapons than they have. And the Bengals offensive line looks like crap.
It's a turnstile. It's not as bad as the Giants, though, Dan.
No, it's not. But Burrow is getting killed back there.
Agreed.
And I think the Cardinals are capable of scoring points. I think their offenses look solid in a good amount of games this season so far. Versus you guys, versus us, versus other teams at times.
Yeah.
So I think they just, like I said, that they passed the eye test right now. The Bengals, I don't know what is going on with them. They just look. I know Burrow's not 100%. Their offensive line is horrible, but man.
But the funny thing is,
your offensive line's bad.
Yeah.
You're not going to win football games.
Especially playing on an injury, too. If your offensive line's bad and you're playing, on an injury, too, just to come back at 80%, even that, you're going running for your life. It doesn't look good. But then, the last 2 years when Burrow was hurt, they went 1-2, 1-3, their first 4 games. But he did flip it. This year, I don't see that happening because there is no progression. I don't know about
this year, man. I mean, I think it's going to be a rough year. I think sooner or later they're going to have to sit him because, if they lose this game, they'll be 1-4, then you're like.
Yeah. The thing is, at least last year they showed a little progression from week 1 to 2 to 3 to 4.
They've shown no progression.
This year it's like a downfall.
Like us.
Yeah, it's
no
downfall.
progression whatsoever. I
agree.
It's the same. They looked just as bad last week as they did week 1.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bengals this week. I think they have the weapons. I mean, if you get the ball to Jamar Chase.
I agree with that.
But the thing is, Dan, if the Cardinals get a lead, I mean, they have to get the
Cardinals
lead.
Cardinals get a lead. If they get up 10-0, 14-0.
They can win this game.
The way the Bengals are playing, I don't see them coming back in the game. Just the way they look.
Yeah, I know that the Cardinals are not a second half team. We've seen that They
No,
had the lead against the Cowboys. Even the Niners, they were a 3-point advantage there. But
they had a lead versus us. We scored 31 on them in one half.
exactly,
So
they fall apart in the second half. So if they're going to get the lead, they're going to have to get it, the first and second quarter and hold a big lead
yep.
because you never know what can happen. But Dan, I mean, the Jets here. I mean, the Jets over the Broncos. The Broncos, kind of killed us last week. We went against them last week. They won.
Yep.
They both just knocked us out there. But the Jets and the Broncos here in Mile High Stadium.
I thought the Jets played well last week. If a couple things went their way, maybe the game could have been different. I thought, considering everything, I thought the Jets, were playing a much better team than they were.
I agree.
Like I said, I think that gives them a little bit of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, the win gives them confidence, but I still don't think they're a very good football team.
Yeah, I don't know what the Broncos are. I really don't. You get demolished and you play okay next week. I understand it's Sean Payton's first year. He's still learning Russell Wilson, putting him in positions. But the Jets team, the one thing I can say, they do have the weapons and
they have a defense. It's going to be like a field goal.
Very good defense. Yeah, exactly. It could be a defensive game here where they can win a game for you. But the one thing I like about the Jets, Dan, is the wide receivers rally with Zach Wilson. I mean, they weren't discrediting him. They went over to him and said, let's go. We got this. They're not. They haven't they still have all the eggs in the basket with Zach Wilson in a good way. They're rallying around him, Dan. They haven't gave up on the guy yet. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't give up on him. Yeah, I think that it has been easy. I mean, he hasn't played up to like what his pick is.
True.
Up to what you thought he might be.
Mm-hmm.
But for some quarterbacks, it takes a while, and their offensive line is also bad. So it really doesn't help his confidence.
True.
But I don't think he played bad last week, and he made a couple of mistakes, but I think I'll give him some confidence going forward. And versus Denver, it's probably the perfect team to gain more confidence.
Oh, I agree. I mean, Dan, I did see one thing where they were talking about one of the announcers. I forgot who it was. Said about Zach Wilson. He was like, this ain't college. This ain't BYU anymore. This is the NFL. You better not stare down and you better not do this. But I'm going to go with the Jets here as well as you are. I think this is a good game. I think defense can hold them. They can win the game here as well. But let's move on, Dan. Super Bowl, defending Super Bowl champs here. Hey, you can't. I don't think you can go against Mahomes right now, especially against Kirk Cousins here in Minnesota. Minnesota just won their first game, Dan. I'm going to go Chiefs here. I think they have so many weapons. Not name brand weapons other than Kelsey, but I got to go Chiefs.
I'm taking the Chiefs. They haven't played a complete game yet either.
Exactly.
But they have Jones back. When they have Chris
back,
Jones on the defense,
Chris Jones,
and Pacheco's playing. Pacheco, however you say his name, is playing really well. They'll have Kelsey. I mean, I just don't see. I think it'll be a high scoring football game.
Okay.
But I see the Chiefs winning this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be probably around like a 60-ish, 70 game total point combined. I love Pacheco.
31, 34, 31. Mm-hmm. It could be something like that because it could be a 7-point win or a 3-point win.
I agree.
They can both score.
I love Pacheco as a running back. He's small, he's fast, and the one player that I'm waiting for to break out is Sky Watson for the Chiefs, that wide receiver. I'm waiting for him to break out. Sky Moore, yes. I am waiting for him to break out. He is like a Mahomes weapon where he's fast, he's downfield player, and he runs routes, and he's a lot on those screens and those jet sweeps. I'm waiting for him to break out, But
he's a good player.
But they haven't put a complete game yet, Dan, just like you said either. You know what I mean?
They have not played a complete game at all.
Well, Dan, let's get into, Alex asked about this game here. He says for some reason the Niners are going to win this game. I don't know. But let's talk about this Sunday night football. Prime time, Levi Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys versus the San Francisco 49ers.
I think the 49ers are going to win the game. I think it'll be close, though.
Dan, I think you're losing connection here. I don't know what you just said, brother. What?
The 49ers are going to win 40-3. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I think the 49ers are going to win the game, but I think it's going to go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last team that has the ball can win.
To me, as I said on my show, I'm a realist. Like our show title is Unfiltered, Straight Truth About the Cowboys, like it or not. To me, I think the Niners will win this game. I'm going with my heart, Dan, because I am not sold on one player's name, and I think you know who that is, Dak Prescott. Yep. I am not sold on who's going to show up. This Niners defense, I mean, you got this front set led by Bosa. You got the linebacker core, Greenlaw. You got Fred Warner. two of the nastiest linebackers in the
They're
best
good,
combo
man.
in the NFL. One play I seen last week, Dan, where yes, Dallas did win the game handily, but there was one play where the linebacker, I forgot his name, he showed blitz, he dropped out, Dak threw it right to the son of a bitch's arm. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That is not reading your progression. And the Niners defense
No, it's not.
is fierce. And what scares me more is Shanahan's motion offense. Dallas struggles with motion. And you know Shanahan with that jet motion, even the window dressing, he's going to put it out there because Dallas struggles in it. 2 timeouts last week, Dan, on defense saying, I can't line up. And that's Dan Quinn's defense. Something's wrong with this. Something's wrong there, you know?
All the guy that motion Debo Samuel the whole game. They like to motion him a lot.
Yes,
and motion
exactly.
Kittle, and they are a tough offense, and McCaffrey is tough to stop. Like, watch out for those screens. Like, I just think the 49ers are tough to stop on both sides. They're both sides of the ball. They're tough.
Agree.
And I think it'll be one of the more tougher tests for Dallas this season.
Agree. Alex says, he gets a real. My brother as a Cowboy fan, as making fun of us. They are looking good. Defense is elite, but I think the Niners are a bit better. Dak's a choker. There's no payback the week. Niners by 7. I can see that. I don't think it's going to be arguably one-sided, lopsided game. But
no,
what scares me,
less.
Yeah, I think what scares me, Dan, is like I said with the Shanahan offense, the motion offense. I mean, you have weapons, dude. We haven't even talked about Ayuk yet. Kittle.
Well, they make those big plays with San Francisco.
Exactly.
Like, just because you have them in a 3rd and long, you better look out. They can still get a first down. Like, they're like some teams, are like most likely they're not going to get it, but them.
Sure.
They throw a little screen here, and you have Debo Samuel, and you have McCaffrey.
And the crazy thing is, Dan,
those 3 guys
they use Debo and McCaffrey in the backfield at the same time. Pick your poison. You can look at screen. You go screen left, screen right, or you can run a wheel route to either of these players. McCaffrey, 4 TDs last week, Dan. 4 TDs by McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that's what I mean. Like, they're just so tough. They're so tough to stop.
They are.
And I don't. Then, maybe this is I know the guy, Bland, I guess, is in for Davis or something.
He's playing. He's balling.
Still, this game, I think it's going to hurt the Dallas defense a little bit because versus a team like this, you need a guy like Diggs. Like, it just helps.
Mm-hmm. And Dan, the one phrase that I used this week on the 215 Boys Show on Wednesday night 9:30. I said to Dave Yarnell, my co-host, I said, this game is a measuring stick for what Dallas is. We call the defense elite. Let's see how elite we are. The other thing is, Dan, 2 out of 13 red zone trips that Dallas have scored this year. 2 out of 13,
That's not
Dan.
Enough. That's not efficient enough at all.
No, 2 out of 13.
You're not going to beat San Francisco like that either.
No, you got to get 7. You got to put 7 on the board, especially against this team, because this team can score in a glimpse. I mean, Purdy, look, he might not be the best quarterback out there, but this dude manages games. He don't turn the ball over, and he makes the right reads, Dan. He makes the right reads. So
exactly,
this could be a scary game. I'm going to go with the Cowboys. Of course, I'm living with my heart here. I sit in this room. I asked Chucky behind me. He said, go with the Cowboys. He feels it. So I'm going Chucky this week. So, Adam Glenn, he has to throw salt in my wounds every damn day, Niners, Dak throws the lane and say, please don't say that, because I don't want to see that interception in the end zone again. But with Dak,
he wants to see a pick 6 instead.
Dan, you know what, Dan? You throw some salt in my wound again, don't you?
Fumble 6.
And you know what? Just remember the Giants are going to get 70 on them this week too. Okay, you keep talking that shit.
They might give up 85.
Dan, hey, listen. Listen. This week you can honestly say you're going to lose, and this week I can say I'm scared. Okay, it's kind of like I don't know.
At least your team will probably be okay, even if they lose. We're like effed. God,
Dan, it's the NFC East. Anything can happen, man. You're still not out of it, Dan. Yeah, right.
Man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna play the Finns and then the Bills. So
yeah, your schedule doesn't get any easier, Dan.
It gets easier after the Bills.
Yeah, our late season is the kind of toughest. I mean, we have 4 division games or 3 division games back to back to back, and then we have, and that's within the 3 games in 20 days with the Cowboys. Playing a Thanksgiving Day game too. So, but Dan, let's go to Monday night here. I mean, we're talking about a great game here on Monday night. The Green Bay Packers versus Ken Fry Silver and Black. Raiders Nation. Dan, why did you take Green Bay? And I don't know why I took Raiders.
I have no idea. I don't know who's going to win this game, but the Raiders look like ass. Sorry, Kenny. The Rangers look like. The Raiders look like a big pile of garbage right now. They may look better, but
Dan, are they pissed
Green
off
Bay
about
that
Jimmy
much
G?
better, but
Are they pissed off about Jimmy G?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
Man, I tell you
I
what,
saw the
this
Raiders
guy.
are playing well right now.
This guy, Jimmy G, I can't bear to watch this guy play. I really can't.
Oh man, like the Raiders will probably be drafting a quarterback. They'll probably have a top 5 pick.
Well, you know what? You better start tanking because there's the Bears and the Bengals are
Caleb Williams time.
Yeah, I mean the Bengals aren't going to go after Caleb Williams. They might go after like a Marvin Harrison Jr., but they need help on an O line too. Maybe a Joe Alt from Notre Dame, preseason All American. But man, if you want to get the top quarterback, Caleb Williams, Raiders, you might just want to start tanking now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this game I didn't know who to pick. I picked the Packers. I don't think they'll be that high scoring, but I think the Packers will win.
Okay, well, Adam agrees with you. He says Packers find a way to win. To me, it all falls on Jordan Love too. We've seen good glimpses and bad glimpses of him too, so we don't know what he's going to show up. But yeah, I mean, Dan, there's our picks. Hopefully you do get a. I mean, we did disagree on a couple of events here, so you might be able to make up your the gap between us on picks here. But season's long, brother. We're only in week 5. We got to get to week 17, Dan.
It is long. It is very long.
Yep. So nobody's out of it. Nobody's out of it yet. Nobody's been eliminated yet, Dan. But before we get out of here, Dan, how about we talk about some great sponsors that we got on the network here?
Absolutely.
How about you talk about some, I know the MLB postseason's here, Dan. How about we talk about getting us a mug for the Atlanta Braves World Series champs?
Yep. Saturday, Braves, Phillies. Go Braves. Mm-hmm. The ultimate game day mug. Drink from a bat, swing for the fences with a dugout mug. Use the promo code OOTB Sports 20 for a 20% discount off your order at dugoutmugs.com. A mug for any baseball fan. You can get any Major League Baseball team, but you can also get a custom logo of any baseball team you want or any other logo you want. So the Ultimate Game Day mug, once again, use the promo code OOTB Sports 20 for 20% off at the checkout at dugoutmugs.com.
If you're in need of a lawyer out there, please reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123. Motor vehicle accidents, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims, 3 convenient locations. I wish he had one in San Francisco because my boy Alex would probably have to use that one after this week. So reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123. Philadelphia, Cherry Hill, Pittsburgh. Mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment here. I guarantee you, no recovery, no fee. I cover the Pittsburgh area myself for Jason. If you call us, we take your case. I guarantee you 33 1/3% on your individual case. No recovery, no fee. Next, last new sponsor here. Greatest sponsor we have. Been with us since day one. The evolution of coffee and flavor-infused coffee at monkeycoldcoffee.com. 3 great flavors. And just added 1. Bourbon chocolate chip, toasted coconut rum, Samaritan blend, and the newest blend, the organic blend. You asked for it, it's here. Peru La Florida. One of the best ones. I actually just ordered a bag, so reach out to them. Make sure you use promo code OOTBS Sports at monkeycoldcoffee.com. Also, we are running a special this week. If you order and spend $50 at monkeycoldcoffee.com with this week and next week, you'll get a $14.99 rum cake sent to your house, packaged, incredible. If you like alcohol and you like cake, good God, you got to get the bourbon rum cake. It's so good. Dan, I'm not going to lie to you. I got a buzz off of it. I really did. It was so damn good. With the alcohol.
Sounds excellent. I'll have to try it. I haven't tried the new one yet.
Exactly. And Dan, I know you and I have a couple new shows coming as well. How about we talk about the schedule here real quick? Mondays, Joystick Junkies. Dan, that's all you there. We're talking video games, streaming games. So that Monday, we have Sully Squad. Joe Sullivan will be joining us on the NFC East War Room right after this, talking all Philadelphia sports. Tuesdays, we got you covered with the Commanders Gridiron. Extra innings is going to be talking about all postseason on Tuesday night. The Bat Cave with Kenny Fry. The Mets, oh, man, this last show, I don't know where he's going to go from there. But Fuji's Flare will be back in 2 weeks with all the best interviews throughout Philadelphia. Myself, Bill Furman, College Football Frenzy, every Wednesday, 8:05, talking top 25 football, games of the week, recapping. Of course, you already know, Alex, you need to check out on Wednesday night, the 215 boys, 9:30 prime time. Thursdays, you already know where we're at. It's the NFL Weekly Pick'em Show with myself and Dan going head-to-head. Right after this show, what could be better? 4 hosts, 4 teams, 1 show, the NFC East War Room. The Old School will be back next week. And, Alex, you might want to check out that, too. That is going to be the old school rivalry of the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. The Atomic Drop will be back tomorrow night. Fast Lane Predictions, WWE Recap, SmackDown Recap. Saturday morning, the Golden Dome Podcast. Saturday mornings with myself. Pre-game and post-game, 30 minutes after the show, after the game. Silver and Black will be back on tomorrow night with Cam Fry. Raiders, LA Kings. Oh, Dan, Sunday. What's going on Sunday with you guys?
We're going to get our ass kicked.
Oh, you want to talk about the ass kicking at 11 a.m.? Okay, pregame there, ass kicking against the Dolphins.
Oh, that's gotta be. Giants get their ass kicked later. All.
That's what it's about. Okay, there's a sequel to what's going on Sunday mornings, 11 a.m. Check out the Big Blue Power Hour with Dan, Stacy, and Ev. Also, we have the Cowboy Show pre and post games, 30 minutes before the game, 30 minutes after the game. And Dan, I know we got something coming on here called the Rangers on Ice. What's that?
We're just going to do a weekly review of the Rangers every week.
Sounds good.
Their wins and losses, reviewing what's happening with the team and stuff like that. So that's coming up in the regular season.
All right.
So that's what's coming up for Rangers on the Ice.
All right. And also Sixers post game, every game, 82 games of the season. The team from Out of the Box will have you covered 30 minutes after each game. So we have you covered there. As always, make sure you follow us at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, the X, formerly Twitter, and also Twitch for all your show needs. We have you covered, guys. We definitely have you show. Last comments here. Alex says, I think the Packers wins. Raiders are not that good. To me, that's one of the toss-up games. To me, I don't know. It's like one of those games.
That's definitely a toss-up. Dan,
here's a comment that I really don't want to say, but kind of pisses me off because we have these fans out there, Dan. As Braves fans, Dan, the series is set. The stage is set.
Some people got to be a little slow down a little bit. I've heard some people are like, "Oh, the Braves are afraid to play the Phillies." Oh, we'll see about that. This ain't last year.
This ain't last year. As Cowboy fans, we talk about the past. Look, as Braves fans, we talk about what today is. Hey, we got Spencer. We got Freed. We're looking good. Elder, we're looking good this year. I'm happy with it.
Phillies are good, I admit, but I think it's the Braves are going to be a tough out, and obviously I hope they win. Anything can happen, but good luck. May the best team win.
Now I know Alex is a big Dodger fan out there. We talk about it all the time. The Dodgers, hey, they're good too. But the only problem is, just like with the Braves' past history, you make it to the dance, you got to win the dance too. You know what I mean? So
I hate seeing Freeman in a Dodger uniform. It's the worst.
My thing is I was a big fan of Freddie. Now my thing, Dan, is Freddie who. You know what I mean? Even though he's leading, still batting.
I love Freddie.
I love him too, but Olsen, Dan,
Olsen had an unreal year, man.
Franchise history and home runs for him.
Insane. Unreal year.
Yep. Alex says, I will try to make it, brother. Definitely, man. We appreciate you checking in, Alex. Alex and I go back to high school. Even his brother Joe, I remember him. Oh man, great memories, man. And Alex, if you got time, check out the NFC East War Room right after the show in about 10 minutes. Remember Stacy Northrup? She'll be on the show too. She's one of the hosts on my network too. So, Dan, are you ready to get out of here, man?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, Dan. Listen, thanks for tuning in, everybody. This is the NFL Weekly Pick'em Show with myself, Paul Spencer, and that is Dan Connor right there. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, and hopefully I got a bigger lead. And go Cowboys! Beat those damn Niners is all I can say this week.
Take care, everybody.
All right. See you guys later.